I think you guys, the committee who was up here, picked an extremely important topic for today's discussion. One that I think is extremely relevant for the health of the advertising industry. Whether you want to call today's session Big Brands, Local Roots, or you want to call it the more sensationalized invasion of the Cleveland exports, it's about the number of advertising decision makers here in the market. Whether they are hiring talent or they're purchasing advertising services, they are extremely important to driving Northeast Ohio's economy. And believe it or not, Northeast Ohio is actually an incredibly strong headquarter town. We rank 4th in the nation for the amount of market share we have as headquarters in Cleveland. In fact, the number of employment growth for headquarters has been 160% in the last 20 years. So interestingly, the number one market, if we're number 4, the number one market is Minneapolis, which is also very well known for its advertising community. So I think there's definitely a correlation there. So without further ado, let me introduce our panelists. I'm going to give you their bios, and then they have a short presentation. So first I have Heidi Baumgart on the end. Heidi was a customer of Naturepedic, purchasing an organic crib mattress in the summer of 2012 before becoming director of marketing in 2013. She earned a bachelor's degree in advertising from Kent State and studied under Cleveland advertising greats including Greg Thomas and Tom Martin. After serving as an account executive of both Rosenberg and Melamed Riley, Heidi left the local advertising scene to run her own wedding planning company, Heidzilla's, which I'm sure there are some stories there. Which I guess Dan was one of the bands that you hired. Oh, wow, that's a small world. In 2013, she came back to marketing as a consultant for nationally recognized, locally owned landscape development firm, the Patty Group, before finally joining Naturepedic to help develop the marketing department for the new national manufacturer. So welcome, Heidi. Thank you. Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. Who was going to do that? That was a good idea. We'll give him a round. Heidi Kevertis, right? Yeah. All right. Is Director of Marketing for Mass Retail at MTD Products, Inc. She earned an MBA in 2006 from Baldwin Wallace and earned her undergraduate from the University of Notre Dame, including a semester at Notre Dame, Australia. I wanted to clarify that's the Notre Dame University that's Touchdown Jesus, not the one on the east side. During her 14-year career at MTD, Heidi has held roles in brand management, product marketing, and market communications. She completed the Emerging Leaders coursework and has led company-wide GPS product. She has won 3 Business Innovation Awards during that time. In her work at MTD, Heidi is, in addition to her work at MTD, she's an avid Notre Dame football fan. We won't hold that against her. And she enjoys running road races. She currently lives in Olmsted Falls with her husband, Brett, and sons, Drew and Ian. Please welcome Heidi. Shelley Roth is president of Pierre's Ice Cream, an 82-year-old regional ice cream manufacturer and distributor. She returned to Cleveland from New York City in 1979, where she had been in the marketing department of Atlantic Records. She came back to her sister father in the family business. Her first assignment was in marketing, setting the direction for the company to expand its distribution beyond Cleveland and expand its product assortment. In 1984, Shelley assumed the position of vice president with the responsibility of sales, marketing, finance, and new products. In 1991, she became president. Shelley is very active in community organizations and supports Cleveland's revitalizations, including their own effort on East 65th Street. She's been chair of Midtown Corridor. She's a former graduate of Leadership Cleveland, and presently she serves on the boards of the Cuyahoga Community College Foundation and the Mount Sinai Foundation and the International Ice Cream Association. I don't know how she's so thin. Shelley and her husband of 31 years, Bruce Schwartz, live in Shaker Heights. She also received a degree from University of Michigan. I was going to leave that out too. So we've got university. So please welcome Shelley. So I think we have queued up a couple presentations to kind of give you a little bit more information about the companies that each one of our panelists works for. Who do we have first? Heidi Baumgart, is that right? Want to start at the end? Heidi?
All right, so Naturepedic is only 10 years old, so we're kind of the opposite of the other two panelists. We originally started as a baby crib mattress company. Our founder is a board-certified chemical engineer. He had nothing to do with manufacturing baby products or crib mattresses, but he went to buy one for his first grandchild and can't believe what crib mattresses are still made out of. So he set out to make a better one. And after that, of course, our baby moms wanted mattresses for their kids, so we started selling kids mattresses. And in the past 2 years, we're also selling luxury adult mattresses. They're amazing, so we have a size for everybody. Can we keep going? Okay, so that's what I was talking about, our founder. And he and his two sons run the company now. So Jeff and Jason Chick. Can we keep going? Our early marketing had to do with peer education and educated moms. There wasn't really a need for this mattress in that customers just didn't know. So we had to create the education. So a lot of our marketing was SEO, social media referrals, all that initial SEO kind of stuff, blogging, back in 2004. And then they were taking the product to to retailers who didn't really want to sell it because it was the opposite of what they were currently selling. So that's really hard for them to make their case. After we started getting our mattresses in independent retailers, the two local ones that you might have shopped at are Baby Time and Berg's. A lot of the big box manufacturers do take us. We're on the floor at Bye Bye Baby. We're sold online with a variety of retailers. And we're the leading organic crib mattress in the country. And so then they asked us to just kind of show some of our marketing. So here's some stuff that we're doing with retailers right now. Of course, something like 80–90% of parents are purchasing organic food, so they're more open to other organic products and the benefits of those. So that's the one ad. And the other one is none of our products have flame retardant chemicals, and if you watch Toxic Hot Seat on HBO or just read any newspaper in any given week, there's been a lot of press on that, so we're riding that wave. Social media is a big deal for us. A lot of our moms, as soon as they find out about our product, become immediate brand ambassadors for us, and referral is huge. So we don't have to do a ton of paid marketing. Also, Parents Magazine and things like that cost 6 figures for every printing, and small manufacturer in Cleveland, Ohio can't afford that. So social media and generating our brand people really help. We have a lot of mom bloggers who review our products and sing their praises, and we don't pay them to do it. Sometimes they get a product sample, or sometimes we just offer them to give away one. And now vloggers is the big thing, so we've appeared on some YouTube series as well. We sponsor a lot of events, again, just getting in front of parents, and we can do education straight on. So education marketing is really our #1 in the baby market. There's some direct-to-consumer print for us. Keep going. And of course, because we are such a specialized, beloved product, we actually get quite a bit of PR just because we're super. So Pregnancy and Newborn picked us up for their green issue, which it's really nice to be in these issues just by sending them a product image and some specs about what we do. This is my favorite part of my job because it's just one of those random bonuses. And when I worked in the agency world, my clients were insecticide manufacturers, and we didn't get to do stuff like this. So just yesterday I was emailing with one of my favorite actors on How I Met Your Mother, who is going to get our mattress. And it's just, you know, just job perk. It's kind of fun that all these people love to work with us. So the rest of my presentation really has to do with later questions.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. All right, that's good. Why don't we, since we now know a lot more about natural mattresses, let's learn more about ice cream.
Well, my name is Shelley Roth. I'm president of Pierre's Ice Cream. Our company is over 80 years old. It began as an ice cream parlor at Euclid Avenue in like 82nd or 89. And back then there was a total proliferation of little ice cream shops. That's mostly how people bought their ice cream, at the ice cream shop, and took it home or ate it. Didn't take it home to store it, but ate it on the spot or just took it home and consumed it at that time. And over the years, what helped our business was the progression of refrigeration and home freezers. And people were able to purchase ice cream and take it home and eat it at home at a convenient time. So our business changed over the years from those early times as an ice cream parlor to morphing into a producer of a large quantity of different flavors and assortments and sizes that would delight customers that want ice cream and ice cream products, both for at home and restaurants. Early on, and it was probably in the 50s, the notion of having our own parlor was sacrificed to really do more at wholesale and retail. So the company moved from Euclid Avenue to a little factory on Huff Avenue. And it grew there, and then it made another move to Carnegie, and now we're on Euclid. But the goal all along was really about high-quality products. So it really translates to the marketing messages, too, through the years. And that was to really emphasize quality, delight our customers, make sure that once we had a customer that loved our products, that they would return and stay loyal and also communicate with us. So as advertising has changed, the nice thing now is with the internet, we do have a vehicle to really hear back from our customers and make products that make them happy. Great. So as far as the presentation, the first video, which one was the first one there? Yeah. So I wanted to emphasize with you packaging, because that is one of our primary focuses, is that what we make, that our package translates well on the shelf. So you see how over the years we've kept our identity. There's a lot of familiarity back all the way to the early 30s of the first packages we filled by hand, and through the years, and how it's still maintained identity. It's very important that when someone's at a supermarket and making a decision about what to buy, that the package really invites them and speaks positively about their products. So we focus a lot on our packaging. We also use other visual tools. You can see historically, we delivered our products ourselves, and we still do, at least in Ohio. So having trucks that portray and are traveling billboards for us is very important. And then finally, more traditional advertising began many years ago, and that's a clip of an old ad where everyone got 5 cents off, and it was promoted at Huff bakeries, which are no longer here. But we still do a lot of advertising through coupons in different ways, freestanding inserts, and we've offered all of you some discounts to go try our products, and we believe that that's a nice way to encourage sampling and trial of new products. So in conclusion, most of our marketing is targeted toward still some traditional methods. Freestanding inserts, the billboard messages on our trucks. We still advertise on radio. We are focused heavily on the message we communicate on the internet. We often do promotions with our customers and try to do grassroots promotions where we do sampling. Social media has been a new discipline for us. It's exciting and has a lot of potential, and we're still growing in our focus on that. And then community outreach. Even though this is about expanding, our core market is still Northeast Ohio. It's important that we continue to sustain and grow in our backyard. So we never want to forget that, and we put a lot of emphasis on that.
Terrific. Now, can everybody hear okay, or should we try and use this microphone? Do we think we're okay? Okay. Okay, I guess I'm getting the signal. Just try and make sure that the microphone is high up so you can talk. As we learn more about lawnmowers and snow throwers, which she said it was a very good winner for business when we were sitting having lunch.
It was a good winner. So MTD is, I think, a really interesting company because a lot of people, even in Northeast Ohio, don't know that MTD is headquartered here in Cleveland. I had a question today, what does MTD stand for? MTD stands for Modern Tool and Die. It was founded by 3 German immigrants in 1932. Theo Mall, one of the founders, was actually on a train from Ellis Island to Baraboo, Wisconsin, which is where he was going to meet a family member, and saw Cleveland outside the train window and saw the steel industry and said, this is where I need to be as an apprentice tool maker and die maker. So he had his cousin come and meet him here, and they moved to Cleveland, and then they met a 3rd gentleman at the local YMCA. And they started the company by making tools and dies primarily for the automobile industry. So they made tools and dies for Tier 1 suppliers to automobile, mostly for oil pan stamping. From there, they actually said, hey, I think we can actually make this. So they started stamping oil pans for automotive. And then from there went to wheelbarrows, and then in 1959 made their first lawnmower, and the rest was history. So if you want to... So we are headquartered here in Northeast Ohio in Valley City, which is in Medina County, for those of you who are unfamiliar, sort of near the Strongsville, Brunswick area. We are still and continue to be a privately held, family-owned business. We are a global manufacturer of both commercial and residential lawn and garden equipment under numerous global and regional brands. Troy-Bilt, which I'll talk about today, is one of our large North American brands. We are, I think, probably more recognized by our brands than by our company, which is an interesting challenge when we're looking to hire inside of the Northeast Ohio market. That MTD itself is not very well recognized, but our brands are. We have operations in 10 US locations and then multiple global locations since 2000, and we have many more prior to that time, but we have over 125 products rated as Best Buy from Consumer Reports, which is a major source of information for our consumers. We're known for quality service, engineering expertise, and really advanced manufacturing. And our goal, our vision, is to create award-winning products that consumers all over the world use to beautify their lawns and gardens. So that is our overall corporate mission, and the building on the top left is our corporate headquarters in Valley City. So what is Troy-Bilt? So MTD itself is really a collection of brands when all is said and done, and we make Cub Cadet, Troy-Bilt, Yard Machines, Yardman, so a lot of really well-recognized brands in our industry. Troy-Bilt itself, when you look at Troy-Bilt, it was founded in Troy, New York. They started with the first American-made rototiller in 1937, was acquired by MTD in 2001. So a lot of MTD's growth outside of this area has been in acquisition, so brands or company acquisition. Troy-Bilt today is a top 4 brand in total awareness in our category, a top 2 brand in overall key category market share, a top brand in close rate. So for those consumers who are considering our brand when they walk into the store and choose to buy our product, we are the #1 brand for close rate. And we have national distribution through major retailers. In the US, our major retailer is Lowe's. And in Canada, our major retailer for Troy-Bilt is Canadian Tire. So major, and we also, but all of our brands we service every major home improvement retailer and general market merchandiser in the industry. So MTD is actually a lot bigger than people really ever think. It's one of the largest OPE manufacturers in the world. So when we were asked, let's bring, here are some examples of what we do. So what do we do for Troy-Bilt? And Marcus Thomas is sitting here. They're our partner on the Troy-Bilt brand, and we certainly would not be where we are today without them. And this is our overall snapshot. We call it our touch point wheel of how we go to market with the Troy-Bilt brand. So from more traditional medias like broadcast through to digital media, through to heavy presence on social media, and that's really been evolving over the past really 5 years to the point where we have a dedicated community manager, and we really try to embrace those lawn and garden enthusiasts and get them to be very involved in our brand and our products, through to blogger relations. And I know a lot of my fellow panelists talked about blogger relations and media relations as well. It's also very important to us. We do community outreach, but aside from Pierre's, our community outreach is really national in scope. So we partner with an organization called Keep America Beautiful. So it's a grassroots beautification organization. And then all the way through to our own digital content, website, email newsletters, YouTube content, through to the in-store experience. So we really try to touch our consumer at all points in their purchase process, especially because our products are more expensive. It's a durable good. You know, there is a lot of research and education that goes into the product. So, here's an example of our television spot, our national television spot.
At Troy-Bilt, the dirt on your hands is the reason for the grease on ours. Your attention to detail sharpens our focus, and your need to finish what you start pushes us to do the same. You inspire us to design, test, and build the most rugged and reliable equipment we possibly can. That's why Troy-Bilt is built for life.
And then one of the questions that sort of came up is, we are a Cleveland company, and do we do anything about that? Do we talk about it in communications? And really, we've actually just kicked this off this year. Because we are a global manufacturer, it becomes a challenge to talk about where we're manufactured. And we do manufacture our product primarily in the United States. As I mentioned, we have 10 manufacturing facilities here in the US. So we've been playing off our garden heritage, really talking about being rooted in America. And we do, as you can see here, on our website, open ourselves sort of up to our consumers and say, here's what we manufacture at the individual locations, and here's some of the examples of the things that we do for our community in Valley City, Ohio.
Well, this is great. Thank you very much for that presentation. I think now everybody has a kind of a good feel. We'll do that. All right. Everybody has a good feel for the businesses. I'm going to ask a few questions, and then I'll open it up for other people to ask questions. My first question would be for Heidi, Naturepedic. As a younger company that's starting to grow, and we talked a little bit at lunch that your locations are Beverly Hills, Toronto, Dallas, and Cleveland, of course, the 4 natural locations for high-end retail. How has being in Cleveland been a benefit, and how has it been something that's maybe inhibited you? How has it affected your ability to kind of take off?
Mm-hmm. Well, for us, we really don't sell a lot of our adult line or most of our products predominantly in the Midwest. Of course, as you can guess, the West Coast is where the organic and health movement has really started, and where we have a lot of sales, and we're in a lot of stores on the adult line. So the cities you're referencing have to do where our first Naturepedic organic mattress galleries are. So we just opened a store in Beverly Hills, and it serves as a showroom for other stores to carry us, and it also serves as a retail establishment for the West Coast, since we're founded here. So probably the hardest part is I am at work late every day because I'm on the phone with the West Coast for a variety of reasons. So being in Cleveland is tough when a predominant part of your market is on the West Coast. While it's wonderful, it is a huge part of our message that we're made in America. Made in Ohio, Amish craftsmen, handcrafted. We have a lot of, every and all material that we can get in the United States, we do. There are certain things that come from certain trees that just aren't grown in America because of the climate, but we are totally committed to U.S. jobs and U.S. cotton and U.S. you name it. Anything we can get, we do here. So that all that messaging is who we are and what we believe in. So the whole, I think the country gets the whole, it was actually quoted on one of those BuzzFeed things, the nitty-gritty Cleveland feel and the work ethic, and so that's definitely the product we make, and it's a huge differentiator for us versus a lot of the other organic manufacturers and a lot of the other mattress manufacturers.
Great. How about at MTD? I know that at Great Lakes Publishing, I get a call once a week from somebody asking if we want to relocate to Tennessee or North Carolina, and I tell them that Cleveland Magazine might be hard to publish from down there, but I think you probably get the most amount of solicitations. How has Cleveland been a benefit, and how can Cleveland make sure that you stay here?
You know, I think being a company that was founded by immigrants and being sort of the traditional American success story, there's a lot of commitment by the family to remain in the area. Most of the family lives in the area, although, as we've become a global organization that's gone really outside, become much broader. But I also think that there's 82 years of heritage here. I don't see that changing significantly. I think our biggest challenge is wanting to be able to continue to manufacture in the United States, and there's just immense cost pressure from overseas. So, even in places where we assemble in the United States, we can't even say made in America because over 92% of the componentry has to also be made in the United States. So there's a lot of legal ramifications for the things that we can and cannot say with regards to made in the USA or made in Cleveland. But I think headquartered in Cleveland, Ohio, or Valley City, which is even sort of more small town than Cleveland, is very important to us as a brand, as a company, and continuing that. And I know that the company is committed to the small towns that we manufacture in. It is not, we're talking Willard, Ohio, Tupelo, Mississippi, Martin, Tennessee. These are not metropolises that we're talking about. We're talking a couple hotels and maybe a restaurant or two, and that's, so our organization makes up a huge sort of part of those communities, and that's the commitment that we have.
How about you, Shelley? How limited are you by the perishable nature of the products you sell, and how have you been able to use Cleveland as an asset?
Well, Cleveland is our primary market, and when I say Cleveland, it's really Northeast Ohio, sure, the collective markets. But we view it as an asset because the market we serve in the biggest way gets to benefit from the freshness and the way that we are making the products daily and delivering them fresh every day. As we branch out or service other markets, we still have that connection because I think it is valued that it has a Midwest base to it. There's a lot of positive value to having Midwest cream and ingredients, and a company that is still small enough to take care of business and watch out for the quality. So it's helped us to be here. On the other hand, there are some challenges because in some situations we're pigeonholed as, oh, well, you're just a local brand and we don't need another local brand. We have the big, powerful global brands, and those do the job. So we do have some challenges on it as well.
Well, that's interesting. How do you go from being a local brand to being a national brand? I mean, what does it take to take that next step? It seems like a huge leap to go from being something that's local, even something at a corner store, to having the penetration that you do in my father's freezer. And I actually think I'm a customer of all three of you. I just kind of realized. I think I have a Troy-built edger. I have a Naturepedic mattress, and you have to have a vacation home named after my dad for Pierre's ice cream. If anybody here knows my dad from years ago, but how do you light that kind of fire to take it to the next level?
For us, it's still a work in process. I don't have a good answer for that, really. There are so many barriers to entry in the food business beyond our geography. So being really national at this point is hard. We do have distribution of different products that we produce in different pockets around the country, and we even ship sometimes internationally. So the transportation isn't the obstacle, it's really the barriers to entry into new markets. So, you know, that's our challenge. I don't know, I couldn't describe a formula for success to really assure success.
How about you, Heidi? You guys are looking to really kind of keep your growth pattern going.
Well, so what's funny, it was more we were online and retailers were hesitant to take us originally. And so then moms just started demanding it with the crib mattresses. So that's where it was more of a, when our customers went to the stores and said, well, this is what I want, you don't have it, then it keyed them in that they should start carrying us. And we do that in a variety of different ways and different channels. In the adult market, we're in a really unique situation because it's only a couple years old and we're sold in, you name the distribution channel. I actually have a slide, I don't know if you can pull that up, where we're sold. You can buy our actually mattresses online really easily, which seems like backwards to you because you want to try it, but we sell a zippable model that's sold in 5 boxes. It's shipped ground. You can fit a California King in a Subaru hatchback. It's really cool, and you can swap your layers for up to 90 days when you get it. So if you think you got what you want and then you got it, you don't like it, you just ship it back to us. So that's really beneficial when you don't have time to go to the store, you don't have a Naturepedic store or a Naturepedic retailer near you, and you still want the best organic mattress in the world. So there's unique boundaries we have, but we've been able, distribution-wise, to cover it in different ways. And a lot of it really has depended on market. Again, West Coast and East Coast is more open to it because that market is more open to it. So hey, Midwesterners, get more organic for me.
Do you think you would have been able to do it without social media and without kind of the internet and being able to leap over? I mean, so the other companies are kind of more established, you know, 50, 100 years ago, where, you know, you guys are kind of new, where you kind of jumped over maybe a huge middleman kind of?
No, I mean, the internet has been pivotal for what we do in general because, I mean, where do you find education about something? I guess time, energy would really have been spent doing press, but being able, our target market and where people find us first is because they heard something about why traditional mattresses are so bad, and then they old Addy a few months ago, and I think they're going to show it. And I put a little funny picture of my friends at Recess in here. They just started some web work for us, and we work with a variety of other promotional people and kind of one-offs here and there.
And we also...
It's a rolling video there. Who knew a mattress ad could make you cry?